Hello and welcome to 4S Tech. Now we all love watching slow motions. That's something we can all agree on without any confusion. But the fact is, time moves on real quick and puts us in a situation where we want things done really quickly. So you have your footage and you're up to making your next monumental production, but you're always tight on time. So I have in total 5 tricks that will definitely get more of your stuff done in a very little time. Plus, these are always considered as the best practices to be followed to improve and speed up your workflow. Now, most of these tips are generally applicable to almost all video editing programs like Premiere, Final Cut, Vegas, etc. But I am currently working on Premiere, so I will be showcasing these techniques accordingly in Adobe Premiere. So let's set up with the first one. So you gather up all your footage and you fire up Premiere or Final Cut, etc. And you start importing all your stuff and begin editing. But before even opening your editing software, just hold on. Go back to your folder, have a look at the content that you will be importing in Premiere, your footage, your key footage, your B-roll, any informational images that you wish to import for technical referencing. Then you may have voiceovers, the folder with music or sound effects. If they aren't put into their separate folders with names as yet, you might as well just do that right now, because if you're planning to do that in later stages and you have a longer footage to edit, then you will be spending a lot of time finding these assets and accessing them. It's a lot easier if these elements are placed in the relative folders in the first place, as this will save you so much time and it will make your editing process much more smoother. So if you follow this tip, it will definitely help you follow my next tip as well. So the next tip, a lot of times we just import footage like this. So all the files in the folder, including audio, sound effects, B-roll, etc. and we drag and drop them or use the import command in our editing software. However, if you have placed all your content in their named folders, you can then drag and drop those folders directly into your programs like this. This is so much easier. Now all your videos and audios are available to you rather conveniently and can be searched without having to scroll through each one of them in your asset list. Now it doesn't seem like something you should do for smaller projects, but believe me, when you have a project with lots of footage, or you may have a client on board and you're constantly updating your project with their feedback, then it's something you should make your habit. Similarly, you can also put a color label on them. So I usually put my audio files in blue and sound effects in green and videos in purple. So in this way, it's a lot more easier to know what's there on your timeline with a single glance, even if you don't have layers expanded enough to see the contents inside them. Now this tip is particularly about Premiere. I'm sure other editing programs do offer the same, but as mentioned before, currently I'm using the Adobe Premiere. So most of us know how to use audio and video by simply dragging or dropping either from the Project Explorer panel or from the preview window. So in this clip, you can see I set up an in point and out point. This is the part I need to bring to my timeline. I will simply just drag it from here and place it on timeline. So with my video comes audio as well. Now normally you would unlink and delete this part, but a simple way is this icon in your preview window. Clicking and dragging it will bring the video only part on the timeline. You notice that there is no audio now on my timeline. Similarly, clicking this wave type icon and dragging it down will bring the audio only part to the timeline. So this simply will allow me to save up some time, also prevent accidental overwriting of the content on my timeline, which does happen a lot when it comes to placing footage on your timeline. Now this is for the times when you have an audio on your timeline, so part of a music or sound effects that you have downloaded from internet or got from your friend, and you're using it on your timeline. Sometimes it's a clip portion of the audio as well, and you just happen to notice that its volume is quite low, or you wish to add some other filters to it, maybe an echo or a reverb. So first thing you would do is amplify or go to the effects panel or try and raise the dB from the effects control, etc. But for those people who would want more control of their audio quickly and more professionally, and they have Adobe Audition with them, so what I would recommend doing is once you have already placed your audio on the timeline, it's clipped and adjusted, just right click on the audio that you wish to add audio effects to and select Edit Clip in Adobe Audition. This will take you directly into Audition. Good thing is, it's not the whole file, but that cropped portion which you clipped aligned in Premiere itself. Here you can apply, amplify or any other filters that you wish doing so. And once you are done with adjustments, hit save and close Adobe Audition. Going back to Premiere timeline, you would notice the audio clip have been updated. So this really does help a lot to speed up my workflow. And I'm sure this would really help you guys out as well. So this last tip is one of my favorites. It's something which most of us already know, but I got to know about it only a couple of months ago. And it's one of the most time-saving tips. So most of us usually follows the practice of viewing our video on this preview window. Scrub through it, set in point, out point, drag and drop the clip on timeline. But instead, if you can just remember 3 shortcuts, J, K, L, they're placed on the keyboard in the same order. K is for stopping your footage, just like spacebar. L is for moving on, doubling or tripling the forward playback speed. J is to kind of move back or reversing the playback speed. For setting up your in point, you can use I. For setting up your out point, you can use O. So what I'm going to do is simply just hit play and let the footage run. At the in point, I'll hit I. And at the out point, I'll hit O. So now you see I have that clip selected that I want to drag and drop. I'm just going to click on comma. Instantly, your clip footage will be placed on your timeline's play ahead, and it will even push the clip ahead if they already exist on your layers. This is the simplest yet the quickest trick you must know if you already don't. There you go, guys. There are the few of many tips that can really fasten up your workflow and get those videos out for quick publishing. If you like what you watched and if these helped you out, then hit that like button, fire up your comments and subscribe if you want to get more of tech reviews, news, tips and whatnot on 4A's Tech. And I'm going to tell you to always remember and be cool, calm and collected. Till again, 4A's Tech signing out.